Here are my combat moves. So I'm going to be attacking Bessarabia and Western Ukraine and Belarus, Baltic states. I'm doing a strategic bombing raid on Leningrad. I'm attacking Karelia. I'm going to attack this transport out there. And that's basically the combat moves. I have a question into Chris as to whether or not he's going to send up his Russian fighter there to intercept. I just have one strategic bomber that's coming in, and he's going to have one fighter that's going to be accompanying him as an escort. So maybe I'll go ahead and do everything else, and then when I hear back, we can roll that last one. But so what I have going into Bessarabia, I have a tank and 2 infantry that are going into there. Into Western Ukraine, I've got these 2 infantry, and then these 2 tanks, 1, 2, are also going into there. Into Belarus, I've got this guy, these 2 tanks, and one of these fighters is going to come up to help out. So that is from Romania. So it's 1 into eastern Poland, 2 into Belarus. It's leaving from an air base. So it has 3 left. Just mark that. Let's see. Into Baltic states, these 2 mechs, this tank, and then these 2 tanks, which are hiding here in Hungary. They're going to go 1 into Poland, 2 into Baltic states. Into Karelia. So the 2 infantry are going to go in there. And then the 2 tactical bombers in Romania are going to come up there. It's from Romania, and there's an air base in Romania. It's 1 to eastern Poland, 2 to Belarus, 3 to Leningrad, 4 into Karelia. And so they have 1 left. I'll mark that. And there's 2 of them. Here's the second one. So they both have 1 left. And then the fighter in Norway, he's also coming to help in Karelia. So that's 1, 2. So he has 2 left. I'm going to mark that. Let's mark the other tactical, make sure we remember he's got 1 left. And then let's see, let me pause this. I still have 3 fighters. Actually just 2. Okay, I think I know what I'm doing here. So these, let me just pause this and think which one I'm going to take. Okay, so the 2 fighters that I have left in Romania, they are going up to Karelia. They're leaving from an air base, so it's 1 into eastern Poland, 2 into Belarus, 3 into Leningrad, 4 into Karelia. So again, they have 1 left. Get that to stay up. Okay, and then the last fighter that I have remaining here in eastern Poland, he is escorting my Romanian bomber that is doing a bombing run on the factory. So the bomber in Romania going to the factory is 1 into eastern Poland, 2 into Belarus, 3 into Leningrad. So he still has 4 left because he's leaving from an air base. And the fighter escort from eastern Poland that's going to be coming with him, he's going 1, 2, so he's going to have 2 left. And I'll do the strategic bombing raid last just because I'm waiting to hear from Chris if he's going to send up his Russian fighter to intercept or not. So, oh, and then can't forget this. So what I'm going to do is this is no longer submerged because the beginning of the turn. He's just going to come down here and hit that British transport. Might as well go ahead and just start with that one. We'll just take that off. That's an auto kill. Okay, so as far as rolling, I guess we may as well, let me just make sure I haven't, oh, I almost forgot. Okay, so the strategic bomber here in Germany, it's going to be designated as an air transport. It's also going to Karelia. So it's going to be 1 into 114, 2 into 115, 3 into Finland, 4 into Karelia. So it still has 2 left. And he's going to bring these 2 infantry with him. Combat drop them in. You can do that because there's already 2 infantry coming in from Finland. So I think that is all the combat moves. Okay, so I think we're ready to start rolling. So I might as well start down here in Bessarabia. So what I've got here is 2 infantry and a tank. So 2 at 1 and 1 at 3. And it's going to be against 1 at 2 for the Russians. And I rolled all misses. That's not a great start. Okay, so the Russians roll back 1 at 2. They also got a miss. Okay, I have a chance for redemption. All misses again. Okay, Russian counterattack, got a hit. So I'm going to lose one of my guys. Okay, so I have now 1 at 1 and 1 at 3. Still all misses. Russian counterattack, another miss. All right, come on. I got it, finally. Okay, Russian counterattack. Still a miss, okay. Took a lot of rolling. So the Russian guy is gone. These guys survive. Okay, moving up to the next one. So what we've got here in Western Ukraine, I've got 2 infantry and 2 tanks. So that's going to be 2 at 1 and 2 at 3. And it's going to be against 2 twos. All misses again. Gosh. You gotta love that rolling. Okay, Russian counterattack, 2 at 2. 2 hits. Not good. So I'm losing my 2 infantry. I'm left with 2 tanks. Come on, gotta get it. 2 hits, okay. And then the 2 counterattacks for the Russians, nothing. Okay, this is some crazy rolling. So the Russians come off. I have 2 tanks left. Okay, moving up into Belarus. So there is a, let's see, I've got my 2 tanks and my fighter at 3, and I also have my infantry at 1. So I have 1, 1, and 3 3s. And what the Russians have to defend with is that heavy tank, which is going to be a 4, and the artillery, which is going to be a 2. So here we go. Okay, I got the 2 hits I need. Thank goodness. Okay, and then Russians counterattack with a 4 and a 2. They got 2 hits. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and lose my guy and one of my tanks. And the Russians are out of there. Okay. Baltic states. So what we've got here is I have 3 tanks and 2 mechs. So 3 tanks, that's going to be 3 3s. The 2 mechs are going to be 2 1s. Okay. I got 1 hit. Okay. And the Russian counterattack is 2 infantry, so 2 at 2. And they also got 1 hit. So I'm going to lose one of my mechs, and one of the Russian infantry are going to come off. We're going to do it again. So now I have 3 at 3 and 1 at 1. Okay, I got all I need. And then Russian counterattack, 1 at 2 is a miss. So that's going to come off. Okay. Now, Karelia. This is the interesting one. Okay, so what I've got 4 1s. And I have 2 tactical bombers, which are going to target select the 2 tanks that are there. And then I also have 3 fighters, which are going to be at 3. So here's what I'm rolling. And we might as well start with the target selects. So here are the 2 target selects. Well, let me just show all the dice here first. So I've got 4 at 1, my 3 fighters, and my 2 target selects. So we'll start with the target selects. Target selecting the tanks in Karelia. Both misses. That's not what I needed. Okay, so the rest of what I've got, so the 4 at 1, the 3 fighters, I have 2 hits total there. So I'm assuming you're going to take the 2 hits on the infantry that are there. So what you've got is 2 infantry and 2 heavy tanks to fight back with. So 2 at 2, and 2 at 4. And there are 2 hits back. Okay, so let me kind of clean that out. So I got 2 and you got 2. So I'm assuming you're going to take out the American infantry. And I'm going to go ahead and lose 2 of my infantry. And we get to do it again, although the target select is gone. So my tacticals are just regular 3s now. So what I've got is 5 3s, and I gotta pull out 2 of these blacks. So 5 3s and 2 at 1, and I need 2 hits. Okay, I got 3 hits, so I got enough. But those 2 tanks, 2 heavy tanks, are gonna fire back. 2 more hits. Okay, and I think what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna go ahead and lose my 2 infantry. I don't have to take Karelia, I decided. I just wanted to get rid of those heavy tanks, which I did. Okay, so those are out. Okay, so now the only thing left, as far as combat goes, is the strategic bombing raid on Leningrad. And the question just is whether Warpig is going to scramble that Soviet fighter there. So maybe what I'll do is we'll just wait until I hear back, and then we can go ahead and finish this up. Okay, I heard back from Chris. He's not going to intercept. So we roll 1 for anti-aircraft, a miss. And we roll 2 dice for my heavy bombers for damage. 10. Okay, so we're going to add 4 to that. That's 14 damage. Okay, I've put 14 damage markers under the factory there. Now, we can go ahead and do non-combat. Let's land a bunch of these planes. So, the planes up in Karelia, the 3 fighters, and well, at least 2 of the, anyway, the two tactical bombers are going to land in Finland. They only have 1 left. The 2 fighters that each have 1 left, those are also going to land in Finland. Okay. The air transport, I've marked it now as an air transport that has 2 left. He's also going to go land in Finland. The 1 fighter from Norway that has 2 left, I think he's also going to land in Finland. The bomber that was on the bombing raid that has 4 left, I think he's going to go back to Romania. So he has 4 left. So 1 into Belarus, 2 into Eastern Poland, 3 back into Romania. The fighter escort that has 2 left. I think he's going to land in eastern Poland. 1, 2. The fighter in Belarus that has 3 left, I think he'll go back to Romania. So 1, 2, back to Romania. Other non-combat moves, so the 2 infantry that are in Norway, they'll go up to Finland. Other non-combat moves, the guy in the artillery here in Berlin are going to get on this transport, go up to 115 along with the cruiser. It's going to escort him, and they're going to land in Finland as well. Other non-combat moves, so the guy is going to non-combat move up to Bulgaria. The mech is going to move up into Romania. Take off some of these markers here. The transport that is in 92 is going to go up to 93, grab the infantry in southern France, and come back down to 92 and drop that guy in Gibraltar. You gotta love that shiny plane there. That's the Italian tactical bomber. Sarah painted that for me. I told her I'd put it on my board. It's kind of fun. Okay. Other non-combat moves. So one of these submarines, one of them in 98, is going to non-combat move up into 95. And let's see. Anything else I want to do? So I think I'm going to take the anti-aircraft gun in France, non-combat, move it into Normandy. And this one remaining guy in Germany and the 2 artillery that are there, they could rail into eastern Poland. Take off these markers here. Trying to decide if I want to move that one remaining sub in 113. What I might do is just move him into 112 with his buddy there. This guy in Greater Southern Germany, I think I'm going to move him up into Germany. And that might be all the non-combat moves. We might be ready to place new units. So let's see. What I'm going to do is the factory. I'm building the factory in Romania. So that's going to go there. The tactical bomber that I built, I think we're going to build that in Western Germany. The strategic bomber that we built, we're going to build that in Western Germany as well. I think two of the guys, infantry, I think I'm going to build them in Western Germany. And a total of 5 infantry I'm going to build in Germany proper. And then I just have the 2 submarines left. I'm thinking I will build one of them in 112. And I think I'll build the other one in C-Zone 93. And I think that's essentially it. The only other thing I just wanted to mark here to make sure I don't forget is there's a possible convoy here in 105. So that destroyer needs to roll. I need to double check the rules to see how many dice the destroyer rolls. Give me 1 second. Okay, so that destroyer is going to roll 1 die. So let's see what he rolls. He rolled a 2. So I think I lose the 2 there that Normandy Bordeaux is worth in the collect income phase. Okay. So, and I think that's the only convoy against me, I believe. If I've missed one, somebody can point it out. And oh, actually, there is another one. So that Soviet submarine there in Norway, and remember subs roll 2. So he rolled a 5 and a 6. So that is no convoy damage. Okay. So I think income-wise, I started the turnout on 47 on the tracker. So let's flip some of these over. That's nothing worth anything. This one is worth 2. So that's up 2, up 3, up 4. Take those markers out. So I think I go up 4. So that will go from 47 up to 51. And then national objectives, the ones that I do have, is these 3 right here at the bottom. Germany controls both Denmark and Norway, while Sweden is neither pro-ally nor allied controlled. Germany has at least 5 subs on the map. I've got 1 in 98, 1 in 95, 1 in 93, and 3 in 112. So I have 6. And then Argentina and Chile already became pro-Axis in this game. And so I still get that. So that's going to be plus 15. So 51 plus 15 would be 64, but minus the 2 that I lost from the convoy in Normandy. So I think that puts me at 62. If I've missed anything or whatever, let me know. But I think Germany is going to have 62 for next turn. I think that's it. Germany's done. On to the UK. Okay, last thing, I just need to recap everything that I've got for Germany. So I'll start over here. Germany in Gibraltar has 2 infantry and 1 tank, and there is also an Italian infantry, an Italian tank, 3 Italian fighters, and a very shiny Italian tactical bomber. C-Zone 92, there is a German transport and a German destroyer. There's also an Italian transport and an Italian cruiser. C-Zone 93, there's a German sub. 95, there's a German sub. 98, there's a German sub. Going over to here. So in Normandy, I have an infantry, an artillery, a tank, and an anti-aircraft gun. Holland, Belgium, I have an infantry, a tank, and an anti-aircraft gun. Denmark, I have an infantry. C-Zone 112, I have 3 submarines. Western Germany, I have 2 infantry, a tactical bomber, and a strategic bomber. Germany, I have 6 total infantry. Romania, well, let's do this first. Bulgaria, I have 1 infantry. Romania, I have 1 German infantry, 1 German mech, 1 fighter, 1 strategic bomber. There's also an Italian anti-aircraft gun and an Italian tank there. In Bessarabia, I have 1 tank and 1 infantry. Western Ukraine, I have 2 tanks. Eastern Europe, I have an anti-aircraft gun, an infantry, 2 artillery, 1 fighter. Belarus, I have 1 tank. Baltic states, I have 3 tanks and 1 mechanized infantry. And then in Finland, I have a total of 3 infantry, 1 artillery, 3 fighters, 2 tactical bombers, a strategic bomber, which is designated as an air transport, and I also, in C-Zone 115, I've got a cruiser and a transport. And I believe that is everything I've got on the board. So, UK's turn.